All right, last year I made a bold claim. I said that it took me more time to deploy the agent that I had created to M365 Teams and Copilot than it took to create it. Why? Because I used a combination of Copilot to help me come up with the agent idea and Dataverse MCP as the tool set. So what we're going to do in our session today is we're actually going to fact check me. We're going to see did I make a correct claim. So what I've done is I have created a stopwatch app using Vive.PowerApps, the new Power Apps code because they're awesome and why not, to keep the official time. So we're going to use that as our timer. We're going to use M365 Copilot to help us ideate ideas that we can build with Dataverse MCP in Copilot Studio. And we're then going to create our agent in Copilot Studio and connect it to Dataverse MCP. So that's the first bit. We're going to time that. Once we do that, we're then going to keep time for how long it takes to deploy that agent to Teams and M365 Copilot. And we're going to officially see if my claim was correct, if it was faster to create the agent than it was to deploy it. All right, why does all of this matter? Well, whether or not my claim was correct, the fact of the matter is that using tools like M365 Copilot and then combining it with Copilot Studio and Dataverse MCP, I get incredibly fast time to agentic value. I can create agents that are doing stuff and delivering value to my organization in less time than ever before. We're talking like sub 10 minutes here. So let's get into it and start the demo. All right, so this is my Power Apps code app here. This is my official timekeeping stopwatch. And then here in M365 Copilot, I've got my prompt. And so I'm going to tell it that I'm a dynamic CE and Power Platform architect. I'm preparing a demo using Dataverse MCP. And I want ideas for things that really showcase the tools in it. Now I'm going to use the web chat in M365 Copilot. When I use the work one, it's going to look at my previous files, even solutions that I've saved out of Dynamics and Power Platform into OneDrive. And while that can be helpful, in this case, I'm going to come up with fresh stuff. So we're going to use web. I'm going to use the quick response model because we're on the clock here. And all right, I think without further ado, we are ready to go. So let's start the timer and enter our prompt. All right, so Copilot's going to think through this, and it's going to start coming up with some ideas for us. Pipeline Coach Pro, that looks pretty promising. Come up with ideas on what our pipeline's doing, creating tasks, that type of thing. Opportunity Builder. Now, I like this as well. I built something similar to this before, so we're going to go with something a little different. Data Hygiene Inspector, that's interesting. Account Relationship Explorer, Forecast Fixer, Quote Builder Assistant, again, built something similar, so we want to go with something new. Which ones are best? Pipeline Coach Pro. All right, let's quickly stop the clock. And all right, let's put in a prompt. What I want is I want it to generate instructions for Pipeline Coach Pro that I can copy paste easily into the agent I'm creating in Copilot Studio. All right, so this is what we want it to do. We're feeling a little bit lazy. It came up with a great idea, but we're pressed for time, so we need it to build those agent instructions. So let's start the clock and enter our prompt again. So we're just under a minute here, and it's created some agent instructions. Very, very cool. Let's quickly copy paste those. All right, so we've got our agent. Let's quickly stop. All right, so in 1 minute, we went from help me come up with ideas to agent instructions, right? Wow, cool stuff. All right, so I have pre-staged an agent here in Copilot Studio. We can debate in the comments whether or not I'm cheating, but I've got this pre-staged and ready to go. All right, so let's get going. Let's start the clock again, and let's come here to our instructions, and let's pop those in. I want to grab this here because this is going to come up to our, let's save that, Let's come up here and add this to the description. Again, very important stuff. There we go. We're going to call this Pipeline Coach Pro. Let's go ahead and save that. We're going to use the Claude Sonnet 4.5 experimental. All right, last thing we need to do is we need to add our tool set. So we're still on the clock here. We're at 1:30. Come to Model Context Protocol, Dataverse MCP server. That's the one I want. Let's add and configure. All right, clock is ticking. Big money, big money. All right, we've got an agent with a tool set. Stop the clock. Just under 2 minutes. 2 minutes, we went from help me come up with ideas, agent instructions, and now we have a functioning agent in Copilot Studio with the instructions we generated in M365 Copilot and the MCP toolset. All right, let's start testing this. Let's give it a quick test. And let's give it a simple one. Let's say, how many opportunities are in the system? Hopefully it can handle my typo. Let's quickly allow it to connect. It's going to go start using its tools. I probably didn't like the way I spelled it. Let's try it one more time. How many opportunities are in the system? All right, here we go. And it's come up with 22 opportunities in the system. Let's quickly come over here to dynamic sales and check, and indeed we do have 22. All right, let's just quickly test some of the agents tool set. Let's say, which opportunities are most at risk? All right, so it's going to look through the opportunities here based on the criteria in its instruction set. And it's going to start querying based on these risk factors. And this is what it's looking for, and it's come up with some opportunities here. Significant cluster of overdeal deals. Let's say, can you add a task to each opportunity reminding me to call the contact? Let's see if it can do this. Look at this, it's solving the problem. It's looking through the task, coming up with key fields, needs to pass a JSON object. Let me create tasks for all 13. It's thinking. I'll create a follow-up task. Yep, awesome. Looks like it is creating each one. All right, it says it's done it. Let's come in here to our opportunity, and let's see. Give it a refresh. Sometimes in dynamic sales, we've got to do that to get the full opportunity up. All right. Wait for the timeline to load. Look at that. It did it. It did it. Very, very cool. So, guys, to summarize, in under 2 minutes, we came up with agent ideas, came up with agent instructions, created our agent, connected to Dataverse, and we've got an agent that is not only helping us analyze our data, surface up opportunities to us, it's actually doing stuff in Dataverse. Very, very cool. All right, let's get to the big money part. Let's get back on the clock and let's deploy this agent to M365 Copilot and Teams. So I'm going to start the clock. Before I do that, I want to just quickly grab a screenshot of the time so we can compare. All right, so minute 57. Remember that. That's going to be important later. Let's come over here to channels, and we're going to publish it. So let's start the clock. Let's publish to Teams and M365 Copilot. So it's publishing here in the background. Here we go. Make it available. Add the channel. Let's force newest version. That's a new feature you might have seen. So when you work in Teams and in M365 Copilot, it's a persistent chat. And so you can force the newest version of the agent on existing chats. So that's a pretty cool feature from the team. So we're at 2.5 minutes here. And we're publishing, turning on Teams. And we are ready to go. Let's stop the clock. All right, so took about 2 minutes to create the agent. It took about 2 minutes to publish it. So a little bit of tech puffery. My statement that I made late last year, not exactly correct, but again, look at this here. 3 minutes, we went from idea to working agent deployed to our users in Teams and M365 Copilot. So let's go ahead and open up M365 Copilot. Let's open up Teams. Just use the web app. And it's going to give us an option to add it here. There's always a bit of a party trick to adding these agents and Teams in M365 Copilot. That's kind of all right, permissions. This is going to be related to Agent 365. So for those of you who saw the demo that I did a few weeks ago on Agent 365, let's go and open this up. This is a new governance tool that Microsoft have offered. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to come over here to agents. So we need to go into the admin part of our M365 tenant. Let's come here to all agents. And we're going to look for Sales Pipeline Pro. Why am I not seeing it? Under Tools, All Agents. Let's go to the map here and Copilot Studio. All right, I am not seeing my agent in Agent 365. Just go to Requests and make sure there's no requests. There's not. Registry. All right, so it looks like this is kind of where the demo is falling apart a little bit. I'm not sure if this is just a propagation thing. So I'm not getting an option to add the permissions. I'm not seeing that. Team chat meeting. Hang on. Let's come here to Teams. Permissions. There we go. Information related to you. All right. Not sure why I'm not seeing the option to allow this because I'm the global administrator here. Weird. Okay. All right. So let's leave it there. So we got it to M365 and Teams. Unfortunately, I couldn't fully deploy it because it looks like I'm having some permissions issues. But to summarize, it took us 3 minutes to use M365 Copilot to ideate, come up with ideas, to then take our best ideas and create agent instructions, which we did here in in Copilot Studio. We then connected very quickly to a tool set using Dataverse MCP, and we then deployed it to M365 Copilot and Teams. We just have a permissioning issue that I need to sort out, and I'll handle that offline later on. All right, so that is how fast we can get agentic value using these tools in the Power Platform. All right, drop a comment, let me know what you think. In the meantime, go do something awesome on the Power Platform today, and I'll talk to you soon.